Do you guys see anything?
Coyote!
Coyote! Oh, good, and a nice loud voice, too. That's what you want to do.
We are in Anthem. It's just a beautiful location this morning, beautiful day. We're talking to children about coyotes. When you go for a walk this morning or when you're walking with your mom and your dad on a trail, you should be really careful that you stay with your mom and dad. Don't run far ahead because there could be a wild animal that would be interested in you.
One of the reasons we wanted to do the program up here in Anthem is that we have had 3 coyote bites, 2 young children, and also one situation at a playground that was very disarming with a coyote. So we felt, let's bring the program up to these youngsters and have them participate.
Do you think that coyotes would be something you'd want to play with? Probably not. You know why? Because they're wild.
Anthem is a beautiful neighborhood. They have lots of open space, they have lots of parkland, many trails that weave through these areas, and as you can see, beautiful landscaping, lots of lush vegetation, and so this area is prime coyote habitat because there's water, there's some shelter, there are areas to hide in the shrubs, and there's also food. Our wildlife policy for the City and County of Broomfield emphasizes coexistence with wildlife. The wildlife will always be in our neighborhoods, in our parks and open space. That probably will never change. So as residents here, we need to learn how to coexist with them.
A coyote mom and dad, they stay together their whole life. They love each other and they nuzzle with one another. Can you nuzzle with me?
We had probably about 12 preschooler, toddler-aged children, and then we had their parents. So providing this information to the parents as well as the children is really important. The parents will talk to other parents and hopefully spread the word.
They hunt and they're called, does anyone know the scientific word, the big word?
Activity.
They're nocturnal. This morning we started by making a coyote mask, which gets them engaged in the activity. Guess how many ears a coyote has?
How many ears?
2 ears. It was a fun time just to interact with them and ask them, have you seen coyotes before? Do you know what a coyote is? Does it look like an elephant? Does it look like a giraffe? So I think the making of the masks is just a great icebreaker. Coyotes and dogs, they look alike, but we can pet dogs if we ask, but can we pet coyotes?
We're going to read a story called Way Out West Lives a Coyote Named Frank.
We told a story about a funny story about coyotes, and then we headed on down the trail. And what we're going to do today, we're going to walk down the trail, but we don't want to run ahead, right? We want to stay behind. So follow me, here we go. And as we walked down the trail, I had planted pictures of coyotes with different facts. And as we walked, we learned about coyotes and talked about their habitat, their food that they like to eat, their teeth. We talked about their skull, how they smell, and we talked about their hunting instincts. And of course, we had to talk about their howling and how they talk to one another.
You know what the first thing you want to do is? You want to stay close to your parents. Today I was here to talk with some of the local residents, with the children and the parents, about how to be smart around coyotes. And the first thing that we encourage kids to do is to stay with their parents. If they do see a coyote, then what they need to do is remember the acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T. You want to stop. Okay, so if we were walking down the trail, first thing you do is stop. So everybody pretend you're walking for a second. Okay, and then just stop. Okay, good. As soon as they see the coyote, stop. Don't get any closer. Then we want them to make themselves big. Okay, then what you're gonna do, when you see that coyote, you're gonna make yourself big. The M in SMART is make yourself big. So everybody practice, make yourself really big. Go like this. Ah, oh, very good. Yeah, that's it. A is for attention. So what can you do? You're gonna say, leave me alone. Everybody say, leave me alone. Leave me alone. One thing they're doing is that they are scaring the coyote, but the other thing they're also doing is getting adults' attention. And so this way the adult is aware of the situation that there's a coyote here. And then the R in SMART, do you guys know what you do? When you see that coyote, you don't want to get closer to him, you want to back away from him, you want to retreat. You want to walk backwards. Can everybody practice walking backwards with me? We try to teach the kids that it's a really bad idea to turn your back on a coyote, and it's an even worse idea to run away. When children run away, when anybody runs away from a predator, that can excite the predator-prey response and they want to chase. So do not run, just retreat backwards. And then the last thing you guys want to do is T. You want to tell an adult. Okay, so if you see a coyote, you need to tell your parents about it, okay?
There are lots of other things that citizens can do. Don't keep your pet food outside. Keep your garbage enclosed. If you have a bird feeder, make sure you pick up the bird seed that may blow out and fall on the ground, because that can attract mice into your backyard and then eventually coyotes. Keeping your dog on a leash is so important. And a shorter leash, not one of the retractable leashes that goes out 30 feet, but one that keeps your pet close to you so your pet's safe.
Do you live with your mom and your dad and maybe a brother or sister? You have your sister? Okay, that's called a family. Coyotes that live together, they live in packs.
Well, this whole program this morning would not have been possible without our incredible volunteers. The nature program has been going on for many years in the community, and it's a group of volunteers that provide nature programs for young children.
Yeah, I think it's very important to coexist with wildlife. And if there's something that I can do to help residents understand that you don't have to be afraid of coyotes, or that there doesn't have to be a problem here, that there are things that we can do so that we can live here and the coyotes can live here too, that's very rewarding for me as well.
Coyotes are usually 2 feet high, so take your hand and put it up about this high. That's how big coyotes get. I've volunteered for probably 15 years doing nature programs for the city, and I just love the interaction with the kids. They make me laugh every day. This really gives me the opportunity to not only come outside and enjoy a beautiful day like this morning, but also to be with kids and enjoy their company. Children learn a lot faster than adults, and I think when you teach children a respect for nature and wildlife in general, they take that through them their whole life. And that's why I think it's so important that we have nature programs for children. This morning, that was an example of appreciating coyotes and appreciating nature, but then also understanding that they are wild.
If you're out in the open space and you see a coyote in the distance, you don't necessarily need to report that. That's a natural process. They do move through our community. But any extremely close conflict situation, we would like to hear about.